warm one of the satellite home, warms one of the space station homes up to the temperature of Earth, which is around 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And while its orbit is Jupiter, and examined in its icy moons, such as Europa. They also managed to gather some ice from Europa and use it and spread it all over the surface spread it all over. Meanwhile, back on Earth, some engineers are planning to build old graphite creators, which sucks the carbon out of the carbon dioxide and shapes its molecules into graphite to make pens.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it should look like, I think it should look like this. Yeah, good idea. And so it was. They ended up building it. And as it took in carbon dioxide, it turned it into graphite cubes, which they could turn into pencils.
Very cool.
It opens up to gather carbon dioxide, and releases oxygen back out into the atmosphere. This is how they could stop global warming, aka climate change, aka climate crisis. It has 3 separate nicknames, okay?
Okay.
And over time, they got to work building all kinds of graphite factories all over Asia, North America, Australia, and Europe. They even built one in Africa, specifically in South Africa, where Elon Musk was born.
Very cool, bro.
And as we thought about it, they ended up opening a ton of graphite factories in South Africa, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Egypt, and Morocco, which is cool, right?
Yes.
As they continue as they build these, they take in carbon dioxide, filter it out into oxygen and carbon, then use the carbon to make graphite. Eventually, it releases the oxygen back into the atmosphere where it regathers carbon dioxide, and the process continues all over again.
Very cool.
Until the carbon dioxide levels drop.
Okay.
They have been on a steady rise lately, and they ended up producing so much oxygen that they decided to go explore. Eventually, in 2030 or 2040, kind of, they thought about going to Mars. Yeah, I think we should build a spaceship and land on. And I think we should build a probe, and we can bring it closer to, and we can bring it to the habitable zone. Yeah, good idea. And so it was. Mars was getting pushed closer to the sun, right at the habitable zone, in between Earth and where Mars was, and where Mars is in 2024. Eventually, they decide to open up some graphite factories in there. And over 10 years, carbon dioxide levels begin to drop drastically. Eventually, they put in some nitrogen, some liquid nitrogen, and heated up, releasing nitrogen into the air.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, they thought it was a good idea to bring some things to the planet of Mars. So they opened up their 8th spaceship and went. And wouldn't you know, they landed on Mars. Eventually, they had Eventually, they used the pusher to get. They repurposed it to have rocks, where they would be brought back to Earth for examination. or examination. Get it? Because as this it looks like an egg.
I get it. Good job.
I'm joking. Back to the story. After they land on the red planet, they go exploring around, and there's barely any food, so they begin to create some greenhouses on animals. After a while, they release cyanobacteria and release the animals out into the wild. As they go out, they begin to eat some of the grass that slowly starting to grow. Again, because of cyanobacteria. And over time, some things begin. In 2060, things are getting out of control. Earth is beginning to heat up due to climate change, and all the graphite machines have stopped, which triggers a comeback of climate change. Factory is begin to continue producing, mainly in countries where they want the most pollution, which is weird. Because who wants pollution?
Right.
Yeah. Eventually, some people, around 100 people, and some hand puppets, around 500 of them, head to Mars, where after landing, they begin to create Mars bases. During the Mars base creation, a huge amount of spaceships begin to fly to Mars full of materials, and eventually they turn into new pods. There are all kinds of pods, living pods, lounges, cooking pods, and more, which is nice. Eventually, by the end of the 20th century, pretty much Earth is becoming uninhabitable because of rising sea levels. And although there is no water on Mars, which is an issue, so they end up bringing ice from Europa into the atmosphere of Mars, where the ice will begin to melt out. Eventually, the first Martian city is born, promptly named New Madrid, because it was created by some Spanish Americans that speak mainly English but also some Spanish. Eventually, the first civilizations begin to emerge, mainly city-states, such as New Madrid, which will later grow into massive worlds or countries.
Cool.
And that's the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming soon. Thanks for watching! And remember that part 2 will be coming soon. Really soon.
Okay.
Thanks. Was that good?
Yeah.